The shutdown was a part of the big plan. This wasn't to cover the Epstein thing. The Epstein thing is out. Everybody knows already. What is going to shock you? What could possibly shock you that you don't already know based on the way that Trump is maneuvering around it? Hello, and welcome to the Think Tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased and logical conclusions. We are an educational entertainment purposes only channel, and the disclaimer down in the description box. Anyway, today I'm back once again with my co-host, the Honorable Dion Powell, representing the Bronx, and I guess I'm going to let him come in and tell you a little about himself. Dion?
78th Assembly District, Dion Powell here in the Bronx County of the great state of New York from the Conservative Party, which is third registered political party of New York State. I'm here to be a Trump apologist, consultant, overall knowledgeable guy about what's going on here in the political spectrum, as it were.
All right. Thanks for coming back so that we can have something to talk about. And as a MAGA man, you know that we always have quite a bit to talk about. And you want to know why? Because Trump's in office. Today we're talking shutdowns. And that's a big topic because a lot is going on. We discussed it briefly on the live this weekend, but it's been going on for a week. There's no end in sight. And the blame game is going with things going back and forth. But some interesting things have happened during this shutdown, and at this point, it's almost impossible to deny what the root cause is. As a MAGA conservative fan and somebody who works in that political realm, how are you seeing the shutdown?
Well, I'm seeing the shutdown as Republicans being united, except for Thomas Massie in the Senate, and some of the senators on the Democratic side chipping away to have a continuing resolution to keep it open. So far it's starting to play out, the usual immature kitty politics, social media, and little viral moments on the news with Minority Leader Jeffries going at it here with our Congressman Mike Laura, two New Yorkers going at it. So right now, it's being argued over a few nuances, but the general public, per se, they're more inclined to believe the GOP side of the story than the Democrat story, because Democrats really don't have any real alternative solutions other than blaming Orange Man, as they say in the industry.
That is an intriguing perspective. So I just want to cover what some of the things that are being affected by healthcare at the present moment, by the shutdown at the present moment. I just want to reiterate the iteration that I gave on Sunday. Healthcare is being affected. Medicaid had money cut. Medicare had money cut. Extensive amounts from the one big, as Hakeem Jeffries is stepping up to plate now. I got to give him his props. As Hakeem Jeffries, I will say it now, the big ugly bill has done. And it's happening now. It's happening respect to what's going on with the shutdown. Medicaid and Medicaid people are not going to be able to feed their kids. Old people are not going to be able to get their medicine. It's bad. National parks are shutting down. I say national parks and put it next to the healthcare because they don't belong together. Like people not being able to feed their kids and national parks. Who cares about the national parks? I mean, I'm sure there's some tourist from Europe that's here. Like, I'm coming to the United States anyway, regardless, because I am just not going to care about politics. And he got here and he said, but I can't go to a national park. Other than that, people are worried about their health care. They're worried about the troops that are not getting paid because they can't send money home to their family. They're worried about the air traffic controllers and the slowdowns at the airports and the fact that airplanes are more unsafe in the skies. They're worried about the TSA agents not being paid. They're worried about WIC. I mentioned SNAP. They're worried about law enforcement not being paid. They're worried about flood insurance during the peak of hurricane season. And while all this is going on, the Republicans are saying this is Chuck Schumer's shutdown. That is wild because the Honorable Dion Powell just said that the public is seeing it from MAGA's perspective, but I have a wildly different interpretation, but I'll get to that in a moment. I just want to cover some of this other stuff, and then we can get to my interpretation. It is a disproportionate effect on those that don't have great wealth. The wealthy services aren't being interrupted. The FTC is not being stopped. You want to trade and split your company and all that, that's ongoing. The Federal Trade Commission is in effect. You don't have to worry if you got money. Your stuff doesn't get hurt. The poor people that can't afford the food, the SNAP benefits being cut, the health care, they're in trouble. If you're wealthy and you want to trade stocks, you're fine. Now, I'll get into a little bit of my perspective. Speaker Johnson claims Medicaid is underfunded and full of fraud, waste, and abuse, and that Democrats are responsible for the shutdown where they won't come to the table. The Democrats are literally sitting at the table while the Republicans are almost literally out to lunch. They have gone on vacation. Donald Trump has told them to not show up at work, and they refuse to come to work. So how do you end a shutdown by coming to the table when you're not in the building where the table is at? And how does anybody believe that the public is falling for that when we're looking at the Republicans not going to work to even talk to the Democrats? You can't possibly come to a solution if you're not even talking. The Democrats are there, the Republicans are not. And everybody knows this. The Republicans are not even fronting about it. They're straight up about it. They're literally on vacation. They tried to say that Schumer was afraid because AOC was trying to take his spot. That I guess they were shooting up the flagpole to seal salutes. They got no burn, so that fell off. Trump has now come out and admitted that the shutdown was about tariffs. I don't know what that's about, but he says the shutdown's about tariffs. He said if it wasn't for tariffs, there wouldn't be a shutdown. I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but he said it. He also claimed that tariffs stopped 4 wars. Yo, he really said this. I'm going to start doing sound bites. He said this nonsense. He said the tariffs, after that, he said the tariffs stopped 4 wars. Thank God for tariffs, I guess we're supposed to say, right? And now they're starting to float those that are getting furloughed won't get paid back like they have in shutdowns prior. So previously, there's been shutdowns before. The last one was how many years ago? Oh, it was under Trump. It's always a shutdown under Trump. And the workers that were...
Don't forget Obama.
Oh, there was one under Obama.
They had a shutdown during Obama so you get the Affordable Care Act approved, remember? Oh, you don't want to remember that.
Absolutely right, actually. That's yes. It wasn't to get it. That's not correct. It wasn't to get it approved. No. It was trying to prevent it from getting approved.
Long story short, these shutdowns are a political tool at times to actually pass or fail certain legislation. So we can't blame shutdowns on Trump. It's happened before under Obama.
Hakeem Jeffries, on the other hand, has made some positive strides forward in letting the world know that this is MAGA's fault. He's, in no uncertain terms, finally stepped up and shown that MAGA is just like not going to come to the table. While Trump is like, he wanted to blame tariffs. The MAGA party's starting to slip. They're starting to come out with it. MAGA Mike Johnson himself said that the shutdown is about the Affordable Care Act. And then he went on to say that he would not allow the Affordable Care Act to move forward. So he's not denying what the shutdown's about and the fact that they're not going to negotiate. He's come out and said it. This is MAGA Mike Johnson. This is the Speaker of the House. Oh, yeah, Speaker of the House, excuse me. So by him admitting on camera, on TV, during an interview, that it's about the Affordable Care Act and he's not going to allow anyone to negotiate, while Trump is telling Republicans not to come to work, not to be in the same room with Democrats, let alone talk to them. It almost appears to me like the Republicans are doing this intentionally. And you see something different, Dion?
So yeah, you gotta keep in mind there are two chambers here of Congress. There's the House of Representatives, and then there's the Senate. In the Senate, the CR, as it's called, needs 60 votes. So far, there are 55 to approve this plan. We just need 5 more. Now, I was incorrect before when I said Thomas Massie was the problem on the Republican side, but actually was Senator Rand Paul that's voting no with the Democrats. So we just need 5 from that pool of 45 to get this going. Now, Speaker Johnson's recess in the House, and you can look it up how many members of the House of Representatives, they're on recess. Some argue because of the Epstein situation. Some are arguing because they're not confirming or swearing in this new special election Democrat congressperson from Arizona, I think it is. And that's exactly what's going on with that. Leo?
As the Honorable Dion Johnson was pointing out, Adelita Grajava won her state, her constituents, by 40 points. That means something like 40% higher than her competition. That means that her competition was like somewhere in the 40s and she was like 60. No, that would only be 20%. So it was kind of like a 30-70 stomp out. She massacred her. Right now, as we speak today, senators have changed the rules to swear in Trump appointees in droves. They literally changed the rules to be able to swear in multiple people simultaneously in the Senate.
Bumble.
But I'm sorry?
It's like bumbling it. This
That's
is
what they call it, yes.
In Robert's rules. Let me see what it's called. 1 second. Go ahead.
And while this is happening, this woman that won her seat 2 weeks ago cannot be sworn in, Miss Grijalva. You know the funniest part about that? The week before that, there was a Republican that won while they was on break, and they swore him in on break. That leads me to believe that Adelita Grijalva is being blocked. Now, as Dion said, there might be a reason for them blocking her. And what many suspect is, if you haven't heard it before, because everybody's talking about it, because it's including Ms. Grijalva, she would be the 218th vote necessary, and we've covered this, to bring the Epstein files or the vote for the Epstein files to the House floor, where everybody would be able to vote on it, and then the files will be forced to be released. Now, the Republicans are claiming they want transparency, but they're not allowing these files to be released. They're blocking swearing her in. Now, since we're talking about it, I think there's more to it. Here's what I see in my crystal ball. My microphone is my crystal ball. Here's what I see. Are you ready?
Okay.
Trump told you what was going to happen before he got in office. And what he said was, you're never going to have to vote again.
Oh,
Now, why do I say that? And why do I say that now? Because it is very obvious that, how are they putting it? They're phrasing it that the Republicans are so far underwater. What that means is, in layman's terms, that nobody voting for them. Like, even their own people is like, no. They're like, nah. Republicans are showing up in their towns and they're like, hi, everybody, boo. It's crazy. It's crazy. Hey, who pays for the tariffs? Republicans are running around like, nah, we don't even want to be seen. It's crazy right now. And this is in blood red, Superman, kryptonite, red sun parts of the country where it's only red, ruby red, blood red. No Democrat to be seen here, nor there, nowhere to be seen. Only red. And the MAGA Republicans can't show up and do a town hall meeting. They can't sit in front of the people that voted them in because they're so angry at them. You go to a town that's in the backwoods, like, you know, what you think of when you think of West Virginia. You see bales of hay, you see farmers. Oh, they don't want to see no farmers. I promise you, they don't want to see no farmers. Because farmers are like, you lied to us. You're costing us our livelihoods. So the opinion is that the Republicans are not going to be able to get votes. And the dismaying part about the fact that they're going to have such a hard time attaining votes is that if the Democrats win back the House, they're just like trying to impeach Trump again. Now, this would be the third time. So MAGA will tell you, this is called getting ahead of it. MAGA will tell you, man, they always trying to impeach him. It don't mean nothing. Oh, we're not scared. They're just trying to do the same thing. Oh, it's an old game. It's tired. We've done this before. Don't y'all see it don't work? MAGA will tell you there's nothing to worry about. But the truth would be that they are very scared. Maybe not the regular MAGA people, but Trump is. And all of the people attached to Trump. Pam Bondi was told today, you don't have to answer for this now. You answer for it next year. Because she refused to answer any questions. This is the oversight committee she's sitting in front of. And just in case you don't know what the oversight committee is, these are the people that hold oversight over her. And she's like, I'm not answering this. I'm not answering questions pertaining to me. What do you mean you're not answering? This is the people that you answered to. So they told her straight up, you will pay for this next year. And while this is going on, because, you know, this is very exciting, right? While this is going on, Trump is giving a speech about, I think we covered that already. I said it already. He's giving a speech about the fact that the shutdown, it's about tariffs. While MAGA Mike is like, the shutdown is about, what did Mike say? Mike Johnson said the shutdown was about, he admitted that the shutdown was about the Affordable Care Act. They can't get their story together because last week it was about Schumer and AOC. The truth is coming out. It's about the fact, here it is. Here's the one thing that nobody said, and here's the truth that they haven't said. The Affordable Care Act credits, they're trying to strip them down, or maybe this has been said, and the only reason they're trying to do it is because they're trying to fund the incredible tax break they gave the rich during the big ugly bill. They got to get the money from somewhere. Already they talk about there's going to be a huge deficit because of it. The truth is they're trying to strip the Affordable Care Act so that they can fund those tax breaks. But is the shutdown about that? Or they're trying to hide the Epstein files? I don't think so. I think hiding the Epstein files is a byproduct. Because here's the truth. Trump has also said that he's going to go talk to his buddy, Volt, about the Project 2025, which he denied vehemently during his run for the presidential during his campaign, which now he's admitting to not only knowing about, but going to literally go to the guy to get advice on who to cut. So when we've been saying all along, this is Project 2025, Trump jumped out and said, ha ha, gotcha. Yes, now I'm going to go talk to him and we're going to commence. He's not trying to hide it anymore. So all of that's happening. Vault and Project 2025 and tax credits cut and no, it's not about the files. He's trying to hide the files, but here's the truth of the matter. He knows he's going to get impeached anyway. He doesn't.
Short family, again, desperation by the Democrats. The American public sees it. We have a couple of key races to pay attention to: Virginia, Winsome Earl Sears, and also New Jersey, Jack Ciattarelli. Once again, I was working in Jersey as well on a 501c4, and the public looks like they're going to be turning those states red, or keeping Virginia red in this case with the governor's race. So you can see these liberal, well, Jersey mostly liberal state, a lot of public is going towards the president and the Republican Party. Now, what he said, Democrats just want power, just attack Trump. And that's why people say, hey, we know if Democrats win, they're going to attack Trump. We have no real solution other than blaming all of our problems on Trump. So we're going to still support the GOP and the red team anyway in what they're doing. And that's what the polling is saying across the board. Ask any major news network.
I would like you to show me that polling. In the interim, I'll say that I would have said previously that the Democrats didn't have a plan, but they do. And their plan is to keep the Affordable Care Act's tax cuts. The Republicans, on the other hand, somebody showed a clip earlier today. And that clip was Trump saying that he was going to have a replacement for the Affordable Care Act in 2 months. And he was going to replace Obamacare with it. That was 9 years ago. So,
well, so far, if I can share my screen, let's see if I have the capability since I came back. No, that's for the request. If you do a general search, family, on the internet, as it were, you ask a very specific question. What do the polls say the public trusts, Republicans or Democrats? That's what I did. Something simple. You could see here, Jersey comes up. This ejection rate Republican getting favorability. It says most Americans don't trust the Democratic Party in economy, immigration, and crime, which is true. We keep going down with these fast food A's. Why Americans trust Trump, GOP over Democrats? That was 12 days ago. Fox News, who trusts them? Now, Yahoo, trust their media sinks to all-time low, even among the Democrats. Even the Democrats voters, that is, don't trust these guys, the mainstream medias. Oh, Republicans off the floor, Democrats on economy and immigration. Oh, wow. GOP Senator Obamacare messaging very challenging, polls asking the wrong questions. So far, as it looks like it, the Republicans are being trusted on all these issues during the governmental shutdown, Leo. Now, why is that? If you were raising the alarm that Donald Trump is so evil and the Republicans are out to destroy and empower and embolden the rich. I don't understand that.
Well, allow me to explain it to you, because obviously you missed a few things, even though you pointed it out. The shutdown is about 7 days old. The first thing you showed didn't have a date on it, so it's probably pretty old. One of them 6 days old. One of them was 12 days old. So these were before the shutdown. It's real simple. Any more questions?
Well, let's just say that right now the government is shut down and unemployment is going up and all these horrible things at the end of the world. Yet and still, the public, if the election were held when today, the right team wins. And on top of that,
I don't think so.
later on in the episode, I found out today that there's more bad news that because of the Supreme Court's decision, the Republicans may gain some more seats because they're going to be allowing some more redistricting nationwide. Isn't that interesting?
I told you that was going to happen. Yes, the Republicans are cheating. They're doing everything they can, and they have to.
The Supreme Court said yes. It looks like the Civil Rights Act has been exploited and did the opposite of its intent, which is cause more racism. Remember, the Civil Rights Act was intended to what? Stop racism. But instead, throughout the present day, it looks like people have exploited it to cause more racism. Isn't that sad?
Wow. So you just came back from Texas. Funny thing about Texas. Texas is the state with the most black people in it in the entire country. Right? Meanwhile, we have, what, 1 seat left after the redistricting? 3 at most? They've taken away almost all the black votes in the state with the most black people. And that's literally what happened.
No, there's a difference between redistricting and black voters, my friend. Black voters.
So it just happens to work out that the redistricting took away the black vote power in Texas almost completely.
No, my friend. Black people can still vote, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, they can vote, but their vote doesn't count because they don't get no representation. They're not getting representation. They're voting, but they're not getting representation.
That yet because the election is not being held yet.
Well, according to the redistricting lines, the way the lines are drawn, they're not getting votes. They're not getting representation. Even if they get the people.
There's a few separate things here, Leo. Number one, black representation and the Congressional Black Caucus still exists to this day. Number two, the lines for that state, Texas, and others will be redrawn. Number three, an election will have to be held next year for those congressional seats. And we shall see if there are black representation in those respective areas. But the political party representation, that's what you got to follow. Understand? So if more Republicans win, if they're black, woohoo. If Democrats win, if they're black, woohoo. If you're black overall, you're born black and not born Democrat, that should be the goal. But yes, we have to wait and see.
The lines
There's no being denied access and voting. That's the point. You're scaring people, but people can still vote to this day with no problems.
The lines were drawn so that the amount of votes you gets you less representation. So if you have let's say the most amount of black people in any state in the country, so you had, let's say, 8 seats? Now you only have 3. And you still have more black people. It's what they took 5 seats away, there's 3 left. So you're in the state with the most black people in the country with hardly any representation for your vote. And you're like, oh, well, black people can still vote Republican. But if the black people's vote is getting them less representation, the black people's vote is getting them less representation. And you're saying the Supreme Court has just said that they can do that nationwide. I wanted to get to that on a different episode. And they're doing that during the shutdown. It's all to make it so that they can stay in power. But don't worry, I don't think you're going to get the vote. Why do you think the military is being sent out to blue cities with black mayors? It's so that when it's time to vote next year, the ICE is going to be patrolling. The 5th largest military in the world is going to be sitting outside that voting booth waiting for people and scaring people off. The 5th largest military in the world is going to be oppressing American citizens like they're doing right now. And that's what's happening. Old women getting punched in the face, old men getting their arms broken, people getting their cars run up on, masks on, guns drawn, no ID, getting their windshield smashed and drug out, like it's Grand Theft Auto. Right now. That's right now. We're 8 months into his pregnancy. Listen to this. Presidency. Oh, because the Supreme Court stopped abortion in many states. Like they was like, Roe versus Wade, you're out of here. Let the states decide.
Yeah, back to the states to decide. Yes, let the states decide. You don't have a constitutional right to have an abortion. I'm sorry.
JD Vance is running around talking about maybe women should not have the right to vote if they change their last name. What does that mean in English if you change your last name? It means if you're married. So he doesn't want married women to get a chance to vote. So what does that mean? I believe that means you living under a patriarch society, a misogynist society, a society where women can't vote. They're taking away the black votes. They're talking about taking away women's rights to vote. What is happening? This is America. It's not the America that I grew up in, but this is the real America. They're getting to show their true face, their true colors. And the shutdown is just a cover up. It was in Project 2025, which is why I say it's not simply to cover the Epstein files, because it was in the game plan all along. And the real thing is to take voting away altogether, because that's what the project says. And maybe President Trump's not doing, oh, wait, he already said he's going to talk to vote. And you're shaking your head no. What is your take on that?
Well, again, one of the authors of Project 2025 is the director of Office of Management and Budgets. So, like I said in a previous episode, it's true. This person has experience. He has been in the previous Trump administration. He's seen all the inner workings. They didn't have the tools and team and knowledge they do now to really see how to make the government more effective. Now, remember, Doge was a temporary program. Elon Musk is not around anymore in that capacity. But now that this has happened, the government shutdown, they have the ability legally to actually clean house. So
all Elon Musk did was stay around long enough to get rid of all of the people and threaten them and maneuver all the people that was actually trying to stop him from doing all the illegal stuff he was doing with his company. Once he got them out the way, he wasn't necessary no more. All he did was make it possible for his own companies to continue their illegal activities. Oh, y'all are saying that FCC, we gotta get into the FCC, we gotta stop that. He didn't care about nobody but his pockets. The shutdown was the real deal. And many people are saying now, what's the difference between now and before? Y'all was firing people all along, so what's the real difference? The real difference is now y'all are getting rid of Medicaid and Medicare. Oh, wait, y'all was doing that too.
Permanently.
Oh, maybe this time, y'all got rid of affirmative action, y'all got rid of DEI. What are you?
Permanently.
I'm sorry, Affordable Care Act. What happened?
No, I'm saying now with the shutdown of Russell, he can permanently fire people. The president can permanently fire people that he couldn't fire before. Russell Vogt.
Yes, this was the game plan, and this was the entire game plan, Project 2025. This was the game plan all along. It's in Project 25. This entire script was written. And now they're acting it out. They're playing it out. The entire script was written. None of this is a surprise to anybody who read. Matter of fact, we told you all what was coming. I believe that when I tried to tell you months ago, you was like, no, this isn't Project 2025. This is Agenda 47. And now he's like, I'm going to go make sure that I'm following Project 2025. The shutdown was a part of the big plan. This wasn't to cover the Epstein thing. The Epstein thing is out. Everybody knows already. What is going to shock you? What could possibly shock you that you don't already know based on the way that Trump is maneuvering around it? The only thing that hasn't happened is the pictures to come out. They're already talking about, they're already talking about that picture with him with women of undetermined age, half naked, surrounding him at the pool with stains on the front of his shorts. And they asking Pam Bondi. They literally asked Pam Bondi, does the Department of Justice have that picture? You know what she said? She refused to answer. That should have been an easy no. The fact that she refused to answer is a yes. And that's what they said. You refused to answer, so we know the answer is yes. Instead, she tried to attack the people asking the questions. Like something like that, it should have been a hell no. There's no such picture. What are you talking about? Why are you saying this about the president? There's no such thing. Instead, she refused to answer. So the picture exists, and the Department of Justice has it, which means Kash Patel has it. Because if the Department of Justice has it, it's because the FBI obtained it. This is how it works. That's how it works. Kash Patel's FBI passed it. He wasn't in charge at the time. That's probably James Comey. Why do you think he's after James Comey so hard? He's after James Comey so hard because James Comey's the one that can expose him. But because James Comey is the one that can expose him. You got to make James Comey a liar.
So after all this time, James Comey, remember, for 4 years chasing Trump under the Biden administration, James Comey and the FC files, these two things exist. How come they were underutilized is my question. So I'll put this out to the audience. Back to you, Skip.
So why is it that people are not answering the questions now? Why is the picture with Trump and the half-naked teenage girls, allegedly, do y'all have it? Why is that not a hard no? Why is that not a hard no? Why that? Let me ask you. Why, audience? Why is that not a no? That picture doesn't exist. Why is that like no? We don't have no picture. What are you talking about? Why is it not? Why is it I'm not answering that? What? What do you mean you're not answering that? This is the oversight committee. We're the ones you answer to. Does the picture exist? I'm not answering that. Yeah, yo, I don't have to put my detective hat on. That's oh. I didn't even believe the picture existed until she did that. How about that? Her response convinced me the picture, because I'm like, that picture existed. Somebody would have left that out already. That's crazy. That picture, that's stupid. Then when they asked her about it, she was like, I'm not answering. I'm like, what? Yo, the picture's real? Word. Oh, yo, the picture's real? Because, what do you mean? You're not, why you're not going to say no? They asked her like 10 different times. 3 different people asked her. She couldn't just say no? To none of them, I'm not answering. Did you give the order for the 1,000 agents to wipe Trump off the Epstein files? I'm not answering that. Why can't you just say, no, I'm not involved? Or it didn't happen? I'm not answering that to the people that's supposed to be asking you the question? That's what happened. And some people are complicit with covering up the most heinous acts possibly committed by man. I mean, you're talking about the same guy who's talking about taking over Canada with guns. Y'all going to become the 51st state instead of Puerto Rico, who's begging for it. Or let's go kill everybody in the Gaza Strip and move them out so I can build my hotels. Or let's go bomb Venezuelan ships with fishermen that's out there just trying to feed their family. Or let's go attack American cities and even though the mayors don't want us there, send in the troops. Even though the courts told us not to. Oh, California said we can't send in troops. We'll send them from Texas. Wait a minute. We already told you can't send troops. We told you that. You just ignore. You're lawless. You're not obeying the rules of the courts. You're lawless. So this is who we're dealing with. 36-time committed, 34-time committed felon.
Oh, here we go with the felon stuff.
Oh God. Oh, you're right. Oh my God. How could I bring up the fact that he's a convicted felon? I'm so shameful for saying it. He's not shameful for being the felon. I'm shameful for saying it. This is how MAGA frames it. I'm shameful for bringing up the fact that he is a felon. But if I was a felon as a black man, you'd be damn sure they'd say it.
When will people learn that the world's not fair? You're not everybody else. You're Leo. You're not Donald Trump. I'm Dion. I'm not Leo. Once we realize that and stop blaming the world and pointing at things, put ourselves. You're Leo. I'm Dion. That's Donald Trump. We're all different people, all different shades of color. Hey, it's not fair, but that's the way life is.
Well, it may not be fair, but if I don't point it out, I'm ignorant. You want me to not mention that there's something wrong? Does that make it better? Or does it make it better when I acknowledge it? You're saying I should not acknowledge it. And that is the end of my argument. If you're liking the content, please like, share, subscribe, help boost us up in the algorithm. We're about to start our group membership. If you become a member, you'll get exclusive content from me and the Honorable Dion Powell. Stuff you can only get there. You'll get exclusive lives. Please join. Dion, anything to say?
Yes. This fall, remember, there are coming elections to follow. New Jersey and Virginia are two states to look at to see where the governor's races are going to turn. Because if both of those states go red, that should give you a hint as to what's going to happen in 2026, especially New Jersey if it goes red.
And there were a lot of people flipping in New Jersey. This shutdown is going to change that.
Do you know anybody in New Jersey?
Yeah. A lot of people in New Jersey.
So, of course, you have a pulse of the people, and boy, they discussed the blue team. Thank you, God. Good night, everybody.
Yes, they are discussing the blue team. Things have changed since the shutdown.